Now, if you're like me and you're older, you've probably got some joints that don't bend quite right, some pains and muscles, and some mobility issues. So watch this routine, take what you want from it, modify it, and create your own routine. And just know that some of that mobility challenges that you have and some of those pains will go away, or at least get better, simply by embarking on a journey of fitness and health and implementing a morning routine that puts a deposit in your health bank. So let's go inside and we'll make some deposits. As we get older, it becomes more and more important that we warm up, loosen up, and stretch before we tackle any really intense activities. So let's start in a standing position, bend our knees just a little, and just swing your arms loosely from side to side. Let them hang, let them swing through their own range of motion, twisting at the trunk, warming up your abdominals, your shoulders, your back, and even your legs. Just get comfortable with moving back and forth for several rotations to get a little bit warmed up. Most of us also have some stiffness in our shoulders, but first let's open up our shoulders, our chest, and our back and our abdominals by raising our hands over our head. Breathe in deep when you go up, and breathe out on the way down. Again, somewhere around 10 repetitions of all of these movements will get you adequate warm-up on those muscles that we're trying to hit. Okay, let's add a little bit more to the shoulders. A lot of us, if we've been mechanics or carpenters or anything physical that requires a lot of the use of our arms and shoulders, we get rotation issues in our shoulders. So let's rotate our shoulders backwards, and then after several rotations, turn around and go the other way. And that's going to help warm up your shoulder joints and get you ready for the day. While we're still in the standing position, grab your right arm with your left arm and pull it around to the opposite side, twisting at your waist and stretching the upper back, stretching your arm, stretching your shoulder. Shake it out, go to the other side, do the same thing, twist, and you should feel this in your side, your lower back, your upper back, your arm, and maybe even in your glutes or your butt. And then shake it out. Okay, now we're going to warm up our legs a little bit and our abdominals by doing some simple knee raises. This is an abdominal exercise and a leg warm up at the same time. We're kind of killing two birds with one stone. And this is something you can do even if you're quite a bit overweight, your stomach is in the way. You might not be able to reach your elbows with your knees, but you can go through the motions of this movement and it will warm up your legs slightly. Now I want to add another one that's going to also focus on your balance, and this is just a simple karate kick. And we chamber the kick. That means we don't just throw our leg up and put it right back down. We hold it after the kick and then put it back down, which makes us pay attention to our balance and to really think about how we're moving, how we're using our leg, get us connected a little bit more to our body. Again, chamber it before you set it down. Don't just swing it back down. So now you've warmed up your thighs, your hamstrings and everything. So now we're going to go to the floor. Doing concrete work and steelworker work injured my knees bad enough at one point that I couldn't even bend them at a 90-degree angle. This move here is simply sitting down, stretching out your upper body, and pressing your butt down towards your heels, stretches out the knees, and helps increase mobility. I still can't quite get all the way down, but after a couple of repetitions of this movement, I can get pretty close, and my knees definitely move a lot better than they did before I started doing these exercises. So I usually do 2 rounds of this, hold it for a count of about 10, and try pushing a little farther in the second round than I did on the first round. Next, we're going to try a movement that opens up the hips. And you have to pull your pants up far enough so that your legs can spread. So basically, get in the hands and knees position, let your knees extend out to the side, and press your centers, your butt, your pelvis towards the floor. I like to rock back and forth a little bit just to increase the effectiveness of the movement. Don't do anything ballistic, don't do anything fast, because that's how you get injured, but just a little bit of extra stretching there. Now we can rotate around to a sitting position, kind of the old Indian style seating. And in this position, we can open up the hips a little bit more by holding on to our feet and pressing down with one arm on one hip to open up that hip. And again, count to about 10, and we'll switch and go to the other leg, press down on that. Now, if you can't reach your toes, if you can't do that, you can possibly just put your feet up against the bottom of your bed or the wall, someplace where you have some stability that allows you to complete this movement. Our next movement will also work on the hips, the side, the butt, and the back a little bit. Basically, you bring your leg underneath you in a L shape like this. So this is also working my knee flexibility. It's stretching out the rear leg quadricep. It's stretching out my hamstring, stretching out my glutes, and it's stretching my side by twisting a little bit like I am. We're going to do that same movement on the other side. Extend your other leg out behind you. Put your front leg at a 90-degree angle and then bring it around under your body. Twist your body, pushing down, push down at the hips as far as you can. It puts a lot of stretch on the muscles around your glutes, around your hamstrings, and even on your quadricep on that front leg. Okay. Now, we're going to move into a position to stretch our hamstrings a little bit. You can do this by at first just bending over with your legs bent, and then however far you can bend over, straighten out your legs and hold it for about a 10 count. And then as you repeat it, you can use your arms to pull on the backs of your legs to pull your body down more closer to your thighs, and keeping your legs straight. This will stretch your quadriceps or stretch your hamstrings even further, and your calves. Eventually get down to where you can touch your toes and pull yourself in and get a good stretch on those hamstrings. Now, this move is going to eventually allow you to possibly do the splits. So this is going to stretch out your inner thighs, which is a very neglected muscle area for most people. And it's going to stretch your hamstrings. So spread your legs where it's comfortable, bend your body over towards one of the feet, then switch and bend your body over towards the other feet. Looks like I should have mopped my floor a little bit more because my feet are pretty dirty. But I actually did just mop the floor. After you've completed about a 10-second on each side, scoot your butt forward, spread your legs out a little bit further to where it's uncomfortable again, and then repeat the same thing. Pull your body down towards your foot, hold it, try not to bounce too much, and switch, go to the other side, do the same thing. And again, with repeated effort on a daily basis, you will get a lot more flexible, and eventually you'll probably be able to do the splits. One last one I like to do is that loosens up my lower back, loosens up my abs, and actually loosens up my chest and arms. Just kind of gives me a good feeling of well-being and a feeling like I've really stretched out. It's kind of almost a cat-like movement, but you basically rolling your abs up and down, rolling your center of your body mass towards the ground, and then arching your back and rolling it back up. Just rolling yourself through a range of motion that loosens up your hips a little bit more, just kind of completes the whole stretching routine to where you're feeling nice and relaxed and stretched out. Now let's finish it off with just a couple of resistance exercises. If we don't have much time for the rest of the day, at least we'll get this done. So we're going to do 10 push-ups. And again, if you can't do a regular push-up like this, then at the very least you can do one with your knees on the floor, or perhaps use the end of your bed so you're standing up and not going down as far, or a chair if there's one nearby. But do your best to work yourself to a position where you can do a full push-up. Now we're switching over to just some full body weight squats, and again we're just doing 10, keeping it easy. So try and go down to wherever it's a little bit uncomfortable, as deep as possible. The deeper the better. I'm trying to keep my feet flat on the floor because it stretches my quads a little bit more when I do that. And it's a little of an exercise for balance as well. It's really just, once again, helping you get in touch with your body. Well, if you got through all of that without any serious muscle strains, then you probably feel a little bit better than you did before you started. You probably have a little more mobility and your muscles feel warm and ready to take on the day. And you can pat yourself on the back because you just made a deposit in your health account. So if you want to enjoy the next few decades of your life with better mobility, better flexibility, and more energy, then create a simple routine like this that will start your day off on a positive note and actually start your body off in a direction towards better health and fitness every single day. If you got value from this video, please like, subscribe, and share it with a friend. And as always, thank you for watching.